All right. If you've made it this far, congratulations. This is a tough course. There's a lot of small things that we're doing, a lot of minutia, a lot of tinkering and things like that. So, if you've made it this far, congratulations. We're coming to the tail end of the construction phase. We have 1, 2, 3 objects left to make before we can start assembling our illustration, our workspace. So we're going to go back over to our working section, which remember we have storage, which is where we're storing things, and then we have working, which is where we're working. Excuse me. So now the workstation that we're building needs a printer. And printers are pretty easy. It's a bunch of squares or rectangles basically. So we're going to start off and we're going to make a rectangle, and this can really be any size you want. It is going to kind of set the tone for the rest of the project, but it's not hyper crucial that it be some specific size. And because printer paper is traditionally white, we are going to add a background to this image just to kind of help me out. That way I don't lose anything. So we have our square, or rectangle, excuse me. I'm going to make it a relatively dark gray. I might play with that later on. Then we need to make a copy. Center it up, come immediately above. Scooch it in just a little, just like that. And make it black. And position it backward. And you kind of start to already get the feel. And if you don't like that black, you think it's too harsh, feel free to kind of play with your grays. That looks good too. Now we need to make another copy of this guy. Come all the way up. Squinch him way in. Center and pull him up a little bit. And then send it backwards. And then this guy. You can hear my dog in the background there. She's probably getting a little bored with me. Anyways, kind of second verse, same as the first. Oop, too far. And I want to squinch this up just a little bit more. And you guys will see why here in a second. Same thing with this guy. Make this guy just a little bit taller. And then I need another rectangle, and I'm going to center him and bring him way in. And he's going to be white. And there you go. So what do you see going on here already? We are making the top paper feed for your standard printer. I'm sure you guys see printers all the time. There's tons of different body styles, shapes, and sizes for printers. This happens to be the one sitting close to my desk, so that's why I'm using it as a model. You'll see some printers where, as opposed to having, let me bring this up to the front, as opposed to having a big section at the bottom, they'll have a big section in the middle, and then it'll actually do something kind of like this. A little bit bigger. Hope if I can get it all to line up. Copy. And you know what, that is just being too frustrating, so we're going to make it a little bit bigger. And there we go. They'll kind of have something that looks more like this. And obviously you need some LEDs on there. You need something that would look kind of sort of like the green little or yellow status light that you'd find on a printer. That is going to be really tough to move. There you go. You could build your printer like this and that would look perfectly fine. Most people, would pretty instantaneously know what that is without a whole lot of effort being put into it. That's not, yet again, that's not the printer that we're going to build today, mainly because my model is sitting right here. But if you wanted to go this direction, absolutely nothing wrong with it. Use whatever life model or photo makes the most sense for you. So let's back all the way up. And there we go. So now we're picking back up with the printer that I have next to me. And we need a black box. And we're going to come down here, and this is going to be, I think they call this like the paper out. I'm not 100% sure on the name of the bottom section of a printer. There we go. Send that up just a little. Copy our paper. Drop them down. Make it a little bit smaller. And there you go. You're starting to see roughly what this printer is going to end up being. You need to thin this up a little bit. And that looks pretty good. Now, my printer has a couple of little status lights on it, so we're going to remake those right now. And I have a yellow and a green. And they just kind of chill over here in the corner, not really doing much anything. We're going to line those up, give them a little bit of a space, and there we go. There is our printer. Nice, clean, easy, and simple. You could mess with this more, you know, if for some reason you didn't like the spacing here and you wanted to be, say, like a tighter, more concise printer look. I don't know if that's necessarily the right word, but if you wanted to look a little bit squattier, which is probably the word I would go with, you could do that. It's kind of whatever you want. Yet again, your mind is where your imagination begins and ends. But we're going to go with that guy as our printer, and we're going to go ahead and move this blue background out of the way, group him up, copy, go over to our storage area, and paste him. Now, keep in mind, you have these white pieces of paper sticking out. So whenever you're over here, you know, just don't forget what this is and say, oh, it's a weird alien spaceship thing. No, it's your printer. It's just, you know, the background's white, the paper's white. If you wanted to, of course, you could put a background on here. And as you get more and more things on here, that may make more sense for you. It's all just really kind of personal preference on what you are or aren't going to remember. I usually don't like putting a background, mainly because I have so many different layers going on. I just want to keep it easy, and I'll use my brain to remember that is white. Anyways, that is our printer. I will see you guys in the next one.